hanging out with me here, TJ, Taurai Jack from M5 Property Addicts. And what are we talking about today? We talk everything of property between 9:30 all the way to 10 o'clock. We are here chilling out, talking about property and anything that has to do with property and use. So I just came out from a joke right now. And we having all these jokes now. We can only do it between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and my one is between 8 and 9 o'clock. So I'm just coming from a joke right now, and I thought, well, before I go and catch a shower or anything like that, let me just shoot, right, and have this conversation of there's the legacy, legacy. And today, I wanted us to talk about one of the great guys that I've known from a distance. I've never met him, but I think he's a cool guy. His name is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And because we're talking about legacy, I thought let me zoom into Arnold, because Arnold, as we know him, most of us we think he's American, right? But if you go in to look exactly who he is or where he's from, he's not American. And you can tell from when he talks, well, back in the days. So I started getting exposed to Arnold Schwarzenegger like in the 90s, but I was a little bit younger in the 90s. So my parents and my older brother didn't allow me to have a look at some of his movies, because, you know, they were a little bit on the rough side. But early 2000s, I started watching those movies because now I was grown up, but they were kind of like old school for me. So I'm not like an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan from a movie perspective, but I'm a fan from a career perspective in terms of what he has achieved as an individual, but not just what is it that he has achieved. I want to look today at some of the obstacles that he has had to overcome. And the thinking that I want to push today is the fact that you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are what you do. You are not your thoughts. You are what you do. So that's what I want to anchor on. And I'm going to speak about Arnold Schwarzenegger, because I thought this was quite cool, because everyone else can do what Arnold Schwarzenegger did, but he chose to be different. So if you're not your thoughts, what does that mean? All of us, if we've been on here, I think when I start talking, some people will be like, yes, I want to go and get a property. We think about it. And then when we see a property, we're driving down the road or we're going somewhere. When we see a property that's dilapidated, like, hey, that guy TJ, I wish he was here. I can buy that property. Some of us, we've gone to actually view properties, but we haven't done anything. So we're thinking about it. And some of us are starting to think of ourselves in the negative way, that we can't even do it, right? Because now we are seeing what others are doing in the space. Maybe you are following some of my podcasts or some of the YouTube that we do. So you're seeing all of these people that are doing it, and now you're thinking, you can do it. I'm here to remind you, you are not your thoughts. You are what you do. Okay, let's go on to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who is Arnold Schwarzenegger? Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's from Austria. Yep, it's a very small country in Europe, just like this, Austria. And let's have a look at, the time that he was born. Arnold is he's in his 70s or so, somewhere there, but he still look sharp, right? If we put him in a room with some of you guys, he's going to knock you out. But Arnold, the thing about Arnold is that he was dreaming from where he was in a country that was war-stricken. So if you understand the world wars and the history of war, you'd understand where Arnold actually came from. He came from a country that was poor, the country that actually didn't even have televisions. They didn't even know, for instance, like when he was talking about his parents that he was going to America, none of his parents had never been to America. So this was extremely foreign for them. And later on, he started bodybuilding, and he started saying that he wants to do bodybuilding in America. And people are like thinking, what the hell, right? But this is at a time in Austria where this has never been done before. So obviously you could understand the heavy criticism that he got at that particular time as a young man trying to pursue his dream. But it didn't stop him. He continued weighting lift, you know what I mean? He continued raising up his biceps and all those muscles that we now see. and he went to America, uncharted territory, a place that he has never been. He probably didn't know what the trains were like. He probably didn't know to speak the American way, and all of those things. But I started forging in, and Arnold, as we know him today, he is a great person in the States. Why is he a great person in the States? He's the governor. He was elected to be a governor in one of the cool states in America, right? California. Imagine that. Like, how does this foreign guy who comes through into the States and he gets the fame that he gets out of acting, and all of it is just out of bodybuilding. He just continued to build his body. Why is it simple actually to do his bodybuilding? Not necessarily so. I think there's days that he would wake up and he didn't want to push any weights. I'm sure there was days that he would get to his training room and his coach would tell him, do this, do that, and he didn't feel like it. But along the way, he started tasting success because he was putting action, right? I'm always about action. Put action. If you're not confident in anything, do some action. If you start doing some action, you become who you are, right? So what did he start doing? He started pulling weights. So the little voice now of, oh, it cannot be done, he started seeing his body building. He started having a stronger body with biceps and all of those things. And out of that, obviously, he started getting attraction from people that started saying, hey, you can do this. And with that, he started doing more and more, and he started getting invited to movies. He started acting on the big movies that we now know him of. But it didn't stop there. There was a greater plan. There was a greater purpose of what he was going to become, to lead a state in unprecedented times like this one that we are in. And out of all of this, Arnold, a guy from Austria, who goes on and he charters into territory, like territories that are unknown, like places that no one has seen from Austria, but he goes on to do it. So how does he do it? He just didn't think about it. He started doing it. When he started doing it, he started to become who he was doing. So he started becoming a bodybuilder, right? He started becoming an actor because he was acting, right? He started becoming all the other things that we now know of him today. And out of this, anyone, no matter what you can say, you cannot take the fact that if I say to you guys, I'll be back, anyone in the room will know that's the legacy of the Terminator. Who is the Terminator? The Terminator is Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? There's been so many documentaries, so many movies written about this guy, and he intentionally wrote his script for his legacy, right? But was it easy? Not necessarily so. I chose today actually to speak about someone who is alive that we can relate to, because some of us, we have watched the Terminator or some of his other movies that I don't like watching, and you don't know where his history comes from. So for me, this is like awesome stuff, because I can see the fact that if you are doing something, the action of you doing it becomes the you, right? So if you're doing, like movies and you're acting, you become the actor. The confidence now that was lacking of you not becoming the actor, it disappears because now everyone calls you the actor. So it's just like real estate. The moment you buy one property investment, so you're an investor. If you're not thinking yourself as an investor, boom, you are an investor. You've already invested. You might have just invested in one property. The fact of the matter is, your actions have driven you now to become an investor. Or you might actually be involved in a transaction, in a deal of a transaction, where actually now you can become confident in your space, because now you have gone through the process of buying this property. So from that perspective, it actually builds your confidence. But if you're just thinking about it whilst you're chilling at home and whilst you're doing whatever you're doing whatever you're doing today, that does not change. It's just thoughts. Thoughts are just dreams. dreams are just thoughts that don't go anywhere. They do not put money on the bank. They are just in your la la land, right? In your la la land. I did say that. But if you start putting actions behind those thoughts, ooh, there is so much more that can come out of it. Some territories that you didn't think of will start opening up. Some people that you didn't know of will start coming up in your way. Deals that you didn't think that you could do will start coming into your way. You start forging relationships of people that you didn't even know, that you didn't even think that you could have relationships with. So things just start conspiring together for the good, obviously, and your knowledge starts growing and growing. And that's what it's all about, because you're meeting different people, you're going into different deals, and all of a sudden you start coming out onto Facebook lives like these ones. You look like you're doing very well, or you look like you're so knowledgeable. No, that's not the fact. The fact is that you were thinking, and out of your thinking you started putting action into it, and out of the action you started seeing some results. You gained confidence. I didn't just wake up one day and I said to myself, hey, I'm going to have a Facebook Live every day, 9:30 to 10 o'clock. I didn't know how to actually. I had to figure it out. And guess what? I actually didn't know that you could do it. And when I started doing it, I didn't even have the confidence. What I speak like today I speak from many different connectivities. I look like I'm a good techie boffin. But no, I used to worry about, hey, I haven't taken a bath. The people are going to see me. Today I am talking to you. I just came from a jog right now and I'm talking to you. Does that matter? No. But what am I saying? What I'm saying is what I was thinking was in my head. I was living in my head, but out of all of that, there was no action. It was just in my head. But if you start thinking and dreaming and then putting the action, boom, you start making some money. That's what it's all about. I'm going to leave you from this one. I'm going to leave you on this one, because this is where I think the action, the money hits the bank account. There is money everywhere, but the money hits the bank account. So whatever you're doing, I'm going to ask of you today, do something wild. Do something that you've never done before. Yes, I know we're in COVID. Don't be rebellious and go out there and start doing crazy things. But in your comfort of your house, do something that is not you. So what does that do? It just takes you outside of your comfort zone, right? So guess what I did today? I went jogging with my pink headphones. So my daughter, she's got pink headphones, and I took it out because I'm just trying to break the norm, because I can, because I want to have conversations with people when I'm out there, because I want them to have a laugh, because we're in COVID and people are just kind of like depressed. So if I do that in my neighborhood where I stay in, every guy whom I was walking with, when we were walking today, and they were just making fun of me with my pink earphones. What did I do? I just created an environment where guys could just talk nonsense, and we were all happy. My name is TJ. This is Taurai Jack, and it's been great hanging out with you guys. I'm hoping that the story of Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you don't know who Arnold Schwarzenegger, Google him. You'll see the amazing things that he has done over the years. He's just a humble guy, in my view. Humble, strong person, strong leader. And he's just one of those guys that I envy to be, to learn from him, not to be. I don't want to be a governor or premier or any of those things. I'm not a politician. I'm happy in my space of investing and doing business. I just envy his style of leadership, and I think we can take a few pages out of his book, out of his life, and actually just starting to apply it. He's a great person now in California. There's books now that they've written about him, biographies. So check him out and learn something from him. But the whole point of this thing is, what legacy are you building? What legacy are you building? Purposefully, what legacy are you building? All right. If you're still thinking about it and you haven't put it into action, please put at least one thing into action. Come on, right? Put at least one thing into action. And that's it from me. I think I'll catch you out, guys, tonight on our private Facebook M5 experience. We are going to be playing some games there, and potentially we are going to be playing the game the cash flow game, online cash flow game, so that we can have some fun. But it is over for me. We'll check you out tonight at 7 o'clock. Cheers. God bless. Bye.